and welcome to Dark Ribs Creations tutorial, where I show you how I create my vampire reborns. So how I've started, I've already done the first few flesh layers. I like to give them a good few coats of the base colour. So I think this is the fourth layer I'm on now, so I'll show you the kit. This is the Anna kit, or Arna kit, however you want to pronounce it, by Linda Murray. So yeah, I'll just give her the first flesh tone, well not the first, this will be the fourth should I say, but the first base colour. So there you can see that. She's actually got a belly plate as well, what I'll be showing you how I do. So if I just show you the one of the base colours. So just try and get it everywhere, pounce it off as you're going along, for any excess that gathers up anywhere. You can use a Q-tip earbud just to get into the little crannies. I tend to pinch it on the end so it's flat, can you see? And it'll get into any of the creases just to pounce it off. You can use a brush, which will do exact same thing, or the end of your sponge to go in. So yeah, just get everywhere in all the creases. I do like it better when there's a lot of layers building up, so you get more of a blank canvas, so to speak. So yeah, right in the ears, all round, everywhere you can get it into. Make sure it's in there. So this kit is going to be another little vampire. She has some yellow eyes, or some black ones. I'm not too sure if they're going to be completely black, or I'm going to go with the yellow ones. We'll see how she goes as the colour builds up, what suits her better. So yeah, all over. Obviously you do whatever skin tone you want, whatever flesh colour. This is the, what's this one? This one's the Flesh 5, what I'm using. It's Genesis heat set paints that I use. Only because I've never tried anything else. And I like to know they're properly set. Just make sure, obviously, when you're doing any of the paints, there's no bits of hair, fluff, or anything that's going to spoil the paint. I've already done that. So I've already given the limbs the 4 coats. If you can see, it just starts to emphasise things where you need to be painting. So I'll do the belly plate. do like the belly plates on the kits, it just makes it that more realistic. Make sure you're stirring your paint every single time. If you're using the Genesis, because it does separate from the thinners, it goes down to the bottom of the jars, so just make sure you are stirring it every single time. Mix it back up, otherwise you'll just have a layer of thinners. Right. So we'll get these in the oven. I just use a halogen oven. You can get some actual ovens that other people use. I don't know what they are actually, but I've always used that halogen oven. Simple, easy. Just place them in. This one that I've got, it'll fit the belly plate and the head, or the head and the legs, so you can do them a lot at the same time. Just make sure they're not touching when you are doing it. You don't actually say what litre or anything it is, but I'll put it on. Mine's on 125, around about 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. So now I'll do some of the blue layering and the first stages of the veining. So I don't know if that blue's going to be a little bit too dark, so I'll just get a bit of my thinners and see what's what. You don't want it. You always want to start out too light. Don't be going in too dark. Otherwise, it just spoils it, especially with the blue, because it's very. It's one of the most stronger colours that you can use. Make sure it's not on your fingers or anything when you're touching your kit. So these are the sponges I use. You can just pick them out. This for like the mottling layers, if you can see that. So I just use my tweezers, pluck bits out for the mottling layers. So there's the blue one, blue mottle, purple, yellow, I do bits of yellow, and the blush in the reds. So I'll just try a bit on here first and just dab it on my paper towel just to see how it's looking. That's looking okay. So start on the tops of the legs, tops and the backs, just in case it is too dark. So just pat it on all around, making sure you move your sponge so that it's they're not all in straight lines or anything. I don't know if you can just about see that there. It'll give it a nice undertone of the blue. So again, just make sure you stir in your paint every single time. blot it off a bit. All the way down the feet, on the soles, just wherever you want it. You can do it as much or as little as you want. You see all that. Obviously with the vampires, the veins and undertones are more prominent than you would do if you were just doing a normal baby. Well, I like to have them like that. Some people don't even do any of the mottling or anything, they just do a really light skin tone and the veining. But I do like to have, if you can you see the big bits that have built up? Let me just get another sponge. You can just dab them off if it's gone on too much. It just gives it that 3D effect of the skin when you do this. So when you've put the kits in the oven as well, make sure it is not on too high because it will melt. I've had that happen before, but because I do the alternative reborns, you know, you can always make something out of what people would class as a ruined kit. So I made, it was called the Nightcrawler. He had a very large head because it had melted, but then I sort of like waved him about a bit and all the top of the head stretched, so he had a big sort of cone head, but it added to the effect, so it was alright. So that's them out of the oven. I'll just let them cool down. Obviously if you paint straight onto the hot vinyl, it'll dry relatively straight away, so we just want to let it cool a bit. So again, just put it on, dab it off a bit. All over. There we go. I don't actually know if you can see it. You can see it glistening. There, so and just have a look. It dries relatively quick. Just put a bit more on this one. At the bottom. the feet you can build up where you think there'd be more blues, but you can do that later as well with the with your brush when you're doing the veining. So I don't know if you can see that it's, now that it's dried, you can just see the undertones of the blues. They're still really hot yet, so I'll show you how I do some of the veining. If I can find a little brush, you need a small brush. So I start with the undertones. I do 3D veining effects for the vampires. So the blue is the undertone, and then I'll go over it with a like a red crimson or something. So you want it a little bit thicker for the veining. So I've already got some blues in here which I use. So I'll just take a little bit of that blue off in the jar. And just wiggle. If you just imagine a tree branches, you just do them like that. Blot off the ends of it, drag it out. And there you can see the start of the veining. So I like a lot of veining, some people don't. So just go wherever you want to put it. Just again drag the bottoms of it so it looks like it goes blending into the skin. So there. Like I say, I like the veins quite prominent. On your normal babies, obviously they wouldn't be quite as prominent. Well, you might like them like that, but it wouldn't look quite as realistic. You do them the same way, but probably not as dark as I do them on the vampires, if you can see that. So I'll do little bits over the hands. Just dab them off so it sort of like blends into the skin. Always make sure you drag off the ends though, because it looks like it's going down into the skin then. And then I like to do under the arms. Rubbed all the vein off then. Right, so now you put a bit of blue in the middle of the hand. Just to give it that depth go around the fingers, in the creases. Just wherever you think it there'd be more blue really. So you can see in the middle of the hand there. So that's one arm done. Tend to fit in the middle of the fingers there, look, just on these bits. What, I don't know what you call them, whatever, if there is a name for them. So there, you can see it's just building it up a bit. These aren't dry yet, so I'll show you the leg veins. Just the same, wherever you want to put them. From the calf coming round. I like to do some on the ankle, so coming from the ankle and go sort of like down into the foot. That's always a good effect. So again, bottom of the foot, just dab it through. Just gives it that depth again around the toes. See, a lot of the colouring I do exactly like you would do a normal reborn. I suppose just the veining and the creasing I'll do darker. Obviously round the eyes and everything I like to go really red or really dark. So I mean, you can obviously still do the reborns off my tutorials. It doesn't have to be vampires. Just obviously keep the tones more subtle, thin your colours down more. Sorry, I keep going off, don't I? I keep forgetting I'm recording. you probably hear my son in a minute. He does his own YouTube videos. He's Vindog the Gamer God. Game God, sorry. I always say it wrong, sorry. So he'll be making a video as well. He does gaming videos, and he shows people how he makes big mansions in Minecraft and that. If you want to have a look for him, he's really good at the Minecraft houses. So yeah, have a look for him. So there, just build up. I like the effect in between the toes of the blue. So there you see the veining all around.
Hey my road peeps, today I'm going to be showing, I'm going to be showing you my house on here.
He's a lot louder than me, so you'll hear the whole of his video. Sorry, I'm going out of shot all the time. So I'm just doing all the blues underneath the toes. Give it a bit of realism.
So here is my house.
All on the bottom of the feet.
That's my house. From the side it looks like a hotel.
So I'll just carry on with the veining on the feet. Oh, nearly.
So I'm only showing you around the house. I'm not done all of this.
I don't actually know if you can see it close up.
So here is my kitchen.
So I'll show you. I'll go down there. You can do whatever you want. Just make sure you drag the ends off. Dab it out so that it goes, blends in down to the skin. So I'll just do this one. I'll show you the head and the belly plate.
Got the worst of it, Mega Mug, Hungry Caterpillar, the Royal Bones, Fortnite, Avengers, and the ones that I made up, Mr. Poopy Pants. I've got Minecraft Facts, James and the Giant Peach, Star Wars, Ninjago, Wizard of Oz, Harry Henry, BFG,
So we can see
the Witches, and Harry Potter.
the depth of the hand going in there.
So that's all that.
I'll just carry on with the veining.
Is my sister's gaming thing. So you got this chair. I did make a video of how to do these chairs, but it didn't come out right. Like it did let me record. So I got this here. I got the PS4. Right here, PS4. And I got the gaming set. I don't know if you can actually have like keyboard and that thingy. It'd be for that because so then I got that again, but this is mine. And then you got my small but good living room. I'm facing one way. So here's my TV, there's my speakers.
Right, so there's all the
So
veining
and here are my
on the hand.
they're very long.
You can see all that.
First I'll go to my back.
Like I say, that's just the blue underlayers that I do.
Here you've got my
I do
back. And plus
a more finer crimson layer over the top, really fine, just to give it that 3D effect. So just make sure you've no blues on you. You don't want no blue fingerprints anywhere. So do this again with the wash for the blue undertones. I'll start at the back of the head because I always root there. So you can see whether it's as light or as dark as you want it. So yeah, I tend to do a lot, especially on the scalp. Obviously when it's drying out you'll need some more. I like a lot across the forehead. You start seeing now all the effect building up on the scalp. You do it all over. Some people don't like the blues all over. I do. So you can see some of the undertones now all underneath. If you think it needs adding to anywhere, you can always add it. But like I said, excuse me, it's always good to go on lighter first. If it's too dark, it's really hard to rectify it. Like I say, especially with the blues. So make sure you go on lighter and work the colours up if you need to.
Oh, now it's sunny. In real life, not in the actual, not in the game.
So these blues as well, I like to
It's going back and forth in England.
get the blue over the nose, in the crease, around the eyes.
So there's my horse and Jack. You can go on either side he wants. You can drink from there. He's got his fireplace.
Again, if you need to, Q-tip or cotton bud, whatever you call them, squash the end and just get any excess out of the creases.
Now I'm going to be building another house, but I'm going to be decorating it in another video. Okay?
So there, he's got some blues around his nose. I'm used to making boys, I think. So right around her nose. You're definitely a girl, aren't you?
And then you just turn until you face the other way. You can do it wherever you want.
So in the middle of the eyes.
Do it here. Well, if you want it like me and you want it like here.
And then just
Like
pounce it up to blend it in. You don't want any straight lines.
Then you can. But if you don't, and you wait, you just put it anywhere you want.
You can always use the Q-tip as well to just
So
blend
for
anything
this, you would need
that's not looking
quartz block.
blended in.
You will need
So there, started getting the darkness around the eyes.
I'm already forgetting to have this in the end. I forgot now. What else do you need?
I think I'm just going to do some more bluing.
Black stained glass paint, and you need some dark oak doors. Well, any door you
blue mottling on the forehead.
So yeah, and you need.
Okay.
You can use.
So go into wherever you think anything else would be blue.
You can use polish.
In the ears, gives a bit of depth.
It's polish. Oh, nice. Polish and underside, so not like that. Polish underside. Or up.
So yeah, you don't want any build up of the blue anywhere.
So it's polished underside. So first, you need to go like
Also
this.
do a bit in the mouth.
So you need to put 6 spots. 2 like that, 2 like that.
And I give an
2 like
undertone on
So
the lips
3
as well.
out of the 2. Like that. And then the floor is going to be spruce. So that, and like that. You can do 1 door, you can do 2 doors, it's fine. Then same again like you do on the other side.
So there.
3
There's
out
the
of
undertones
2.
of the blues there.
And then let's put that there.
Down the sides of the nose.
Wait, no, actually, you can do it with polish on the side, or you can do it like that. I like that.
In
So
this
then
creasy bit.
you need to do that. Then like this. You need to do it 3 times. So
Sides
3
of the
like
mouth,
that.
the chin.
Wait, no, you need to do it 4. Again. I've watched the
Just
video
remembering
about
to
this.
dab
I might not do it right.
everything that gathers up in the
So-
creases.
So you need to put 4 like that. 4 like that. Yes, 4 like that. And 3 up. Like
So
that.
there. Just starts emphasising all the mouth as well.
And then
There we go, starting to look like a bit of a horror baby. So there, you can put the blue wherever you want, under the chin, wherever you think
And you can pause the video if I'm going too fast or anything.
it adds to the effect.
Then, so you
Just
do the same on the other
pounce
side.
it off.
Then you're going to do a whole entire line of
So the blue will emphasise any shadowing, as you can see on that.
like that.
Do it in the creases on the forehead for the frown.
Wait, 1 minute, guys. I need to put spruce underneath those.
So, I don't know if you can see the creases.
Then spruce underneath these. There we go.
In the nose.
Like that.
Just creates the shadowing. I always build up the nose with blues, crimsons.
And you're going to add the glass again, okay? The glass again. If it's too dark, then you go still. I mean, I'm on PS4, aren't I? So I can't do like scrolling.
There. So there's the blue mottling.
Guys, if you want me to do
Need to do the veining
more
now.
Xbox videos, I will do it for you. It's just because I still need to.
This baby will be having
get used
hair,
to the keyboard,
but
so I'm being on PS4.
I still do like to do some of
I
the
don't think
veining
I've
on the
been
scalp
on the
anyway.
Xbox since I just turned 8. I don't think I've been on the Xbox. So like that. Then I'm going to do that again, like that.
Tend to do a big vein across the top.
Next side, like that again.
think Dark Cribs is more known now for the veining details that I do.
Then you're going to go over here
Um,
and do the exact same.
so I like to come down on the